So here we study the cause of Parkinson disease. Okay, so usually the Parkinson disease has no common cause, but the exposure of longer pesticides uh, can cause the Parkinson disease. And dye of neurone that connect basal ganglia and motor cortex is also responsible for that disease. And drug toxicity, autoimmune disorder, and sometimes mutations in the gene and the familial problem and the variant causative gene are responsible for the cause of Parkinson disease. So at present time, 13 gene have been discovered that are responsible to the cause of Parkinson disease. First is LRRK2, leucine rich repeat kinase 2, SNCA, synuclein alpha, MAPT, microtubulin associated protein tau, APOE, apolipoprotein E, PARC7 is a Parkinsonism associated D lysases repeat kinase 7, PINK1 is a P10 induced kinase 1, Parkin is a Parkin RBRE3 ubiquitin protein kinase. GBA is a beta glucocerebrosidase, and UCHL1 is a ubiquitin C terminal hydrolase 1. NAT2 is a N-acyl transferase 2, and then inos 2A is a inducible nitric oxide synthetase to alpha, GAK cyclin associated kinase, and HLA-TRA is a MHC class 2 DR alpha that provide a cellular immunity in the blood, that these the produce a receptor present on the B cells. Okay, so after this, the most important topic is the mechanism of the Parkinson disease and basal ganglia disruption. Okay, so here in this left side you can see the figure of brain. Here red color denote the basal ganglia and blue color denote the related structure. So here in this you can see the substantial nigra, ventral tegmental area, ventral pallidum, olfactory tubular. These all things are labeled here. Okay, so in this right side figure, the all over the graph that you can see the basal ganglia disruption and mechanism. And here is a limbic system. It is a have two reason, like first is associated area and second is premotor cortex. It transmit a signal to the gyrus precentrials and it transferred to the spinal cord. So first, what is the limbic system? Limbic system is a part of the brain that regulate the function of autonomic nervous system. Limbic system is a complex of structure that lie in both side of thalamus, just uh, under the cerebrum. Okay, and the its two parts. First is associated area. For associated area control four different region of part of brain. First is thalamus, hypothalamus, amygdala, and hippocampus. And the thalamus control the relay informations. Okay, hypothalamus control homeostasis, amygdala control emotions, hippocampus control memory conversion. Okay, these all are the function of associated areas. And in case of promoter cortex, so promoter cortex control motor skills of repetitive nature, and promoter cortex coordinate the movement of several molecule group to act simultaneously. Okay, and the gyrus precentrials is the anatomical location of the primary cortex, so which is responsible for controlling the voluntary motor movement on the bodies of controventral sites. Okay, and then it transferred the signal to the spinal cord. So spinal cord is the main rod that control all body parts. Okay, so here the right left side you can see the substantial nigra. Okay, So, substantia nigra is a basal ganglia structure in the midbrain that play an important role in rewards and movements. So, substantia nigra is divided into two categories like pars reticularis and par compacta. Okay, so substantia nigra, its means is black substance. Okay, so it reflect that the fact that part of the substantia nigra appear darker than neighboring in dopaminergic neuron. So this is due to the Parkinson disease, and the Parkinson disease is characterized by the loss of dopaminergic neuron in the substantia nigra, uh, parts compacta. So here I have a figure above this, so you can see. So here in this, you can see the black region is substantia nigra due to dopaminergic neurons. Okay, this is a pair of darker because it's here that the nerve cell died of nerve cell. Okay, here you can see. Okay, these are the dopa- dopaminergic neurons in the substantia nigra. Okay, so let's move on our slides. Okay, so after this, it transfer a signal to the stratum have a two part. First is caudate and putamen. Okay, so it transfer a signal to the thalamus, that is rich in neurotransmitter GABA, that is inhibitory molecule. Okay, so here all the lines denote have their meaning. Like here you can see legend box, the black dark line determine the excitatory molecule, and the dash dark line black determine the inhibitory molecule, red line determine the glutamate. Okay, and the blue line determine the GABA molecule, that is the inhibitory molecule, and green line determine the dopamine signaling transfer. Okay, so here dash line 1 and 2, you can see that define the inhibitory molecule. Okay, so it transfer a signal to GPI and GPI cell, that is a cells present in the cortex region. Okay, so it transfer a signal to the nucleus subthalamic. So it is a small lens shaped nuclei in the brain. Okay, part of the basal ganglia system. It is a group of subcortical nuclei. Okay, the neuron of substantia nigra or dopaminergic inhibitory then have many connection to the corpus stratum. Okay, these nephron of the subthalamic nuclei are the glutaminergic and have many connection to the globes, pallets and substantia nigra. Okay, so here in this figure you can explain basal ganglia is divided into pathway that follow or regulate it. First is direct and other is indirect pathway. So direct pathway is like increase the motor activity and facilitate the initiation and execution of the voluntary movement that give a reward learning. And in case of indirect pathway is decrease the motor activity and cause the aversion of learning that also inhibit the initiation of the movement. So we talk study one by one. Firstly, we talk about the direct pathway. Direct pathways start from the stratum. Okay, so stratum, the neuron of the side of the stratum are the excitatory by the cortex of P int cells. Okay, here you can see this and this. Okay, and these are the inhibitory neuron and their uh, axons go to the internal globus pallidus. These inhibitory fibers use the GABA as their main inhibitory neurotransmitter to the thalamus and the nuclei subthalamus. Okay, so here the purple color you can see. Okay, Thus, because of the double negative in this pathway between the stratum and GP int and the GP int thalamus, that result in the exciting of the direct pathway stratum neuron is to excite the motor cortex. Okay, and in case of indirect pathway, that also arise from the same stratum, that inhibitory neurons from the stratum, synapse from the external segment of the globus pallidus. These neuron of the external segment of the globus pallidus and that send inhibitory fiber to the subthalamus. Okay, functionally the stratum inhibit the external globus pallidus and that cause the disinhibition of the subthalamus. Then the activity of the cortical motor neuron and consecutive decrease of the movement should take place. So all this pathway you can see. Okay, these are the inhibitory molecule. So here in this figure you can see the direct pathway figure, all the signaling molecule you can see. The green lines determine the connection uh, between two cells, and red line indicate the inhibitory connection between two region. Okay, so in this figure you can see in this direct pathway is start from the this stratum. Okay, this stratum transfer a signal to the globus pallidi, that is the external segment. After this it transfer a signal to the internal segment of glomer pallidi, and this transfer a signal to thalamus. Okay, this thalamus transfer a signal to cerebral cortex, and the stratum is directly also transfer a signal to cerebral cortex. Its means is that it is a double pathway between stratum and cortex and thalamus and cortex, that result in the exciting the direct pathway stratum neuron is to excite the motor cortex. Okay, so this is the direct pathway you can see. So after this you can see the indirect pathway. So in this indirect pathway is also rise from the stratum. Okay, here you can see it transfer a signal to external glomus pallidi. Okay, and then it transfer to internal glomus pallidi segment, and then it transfer to the thalamus, and then it transfer to cerebral cortex. So what is the difference in this? So it produce a inhibitory neuron from the stratum synapse with external segment of the glomus pallidus. Okay, this neuron of the external segment of the glomus pallidus send to inhibitory fiber to the subthalamus. Okay, and functionally the stratum inhibit the external glomus pallidus, and that cause disinhibition of the subthalamus. Then activity of the cortical motor neuron and consequential decrease of the movement should take place. Okay, so here in this figure you can see indirect pathway, all the signal arise from stratum. So how it sends signal? So first of all it receives signal from substantia nigra that transfer a signal to the stratum. Okay, then it forward of the take place, it move to the cerebral cortex and then transfer to glomerulus pallidi, external pallidi, then thalamus, and then it transfer to again cerebral cortex should be take place. So this is a nitrostatial pathway that connect the substantia nigra to the stratum pallidi, that transfer the signal to the stratum to increase the uh, signaling pathway or decrease it. Okay, so where both the chances should can take place, like excited or inhibit the movement of motor neuron. So after this is the whole all diagram. You can see the direct pathway, indirect pathway, nitrostatinal pathway. You can see this is the whole diagram. You can see, you can take do you want to take a snapshot, just take it. So this is a beautiful diagram to explain the mechanism of Parkinson disease, in which way if the neuron get degenerated or affected between the substantia nigra and the stratum, that cause the disturbance in the signaling pathway. Because the signaling pathway will be stopped, then the tremor will occur or disbalance in the movements. Okay, this is the sign and symptoms of the Parkinson disease. So, okay, so after this, so here again in this figure you can see the mechanism in a small part in a other way. If you, okay, so the substantia nigra is this. Okay, so it have two parts. First is pars reticularis and other is pars compacta. So it send a signal to the stratum is also have two parts. First is caudate and potamen. These caudate and potamen transfer a signal to the thalamus. Okay, then thalamus transfer to the cortex, then the movement of the motor neuron transmit the signal to the sensory neuron, then the reflex should be take place. Okay, so here the red line determine the gamma aminobutyric acid and the blue line determine the signaling of dopamine. Okay, so when the signal is transferred to the stratum, that determine the signal by nitrostatinal pathway, that help in stimulation of cerebral cortex that responsible for the movement. Okay, so this is the like a whole summary in a small diagram again. Okay, so when in this figure again you can see when the pars compacta get affected. Okay, here you can see this here. If pars compacta get affected area, then it can't send a signal to the stratum, and then it can't send signal to hypothalamus or okay, so this is a whole process like two way. Like first is the substantia nigra part pars compacta directly transfer signal to the thalamus, or indirect way to stratum, and then stratum to thalamus. It have intermediate like internal and external glomerulus pedi. Okay, so this whole process should affected in this. Then if this affected, then hypokinetics can be take place. It means is low movement. Okay, so this mechanism will stop, then the hypokinetics says this is due to the die of the neuron take place. Okay, that connect the between pars compacta and reticularis part. Okay, so after this you can again you can see the substantia nigra. These are the dopaminergic neurons. That is the died of neuron. This is a Lewy bodies, eosinophilic and alpha synuclein bodies. This is the reason why it appear to be like darker color, and these are the dead neuron. Okay, so here is the normal. Okay, sorry. So here in this figure you can normal parts of the brain, and here you can see the dead neuron cells you can see. Okay, so after this the we can study the symptoms, cause on mechanism of this, and after this how we treat the Parkinson disease, and how many way you treat the Parkinson disease. Okay, Main strategy of the treatment of Parkinson is disease is to increase the dopamine signaling. So how should we increase dopamine signaling? Everyone, I think, know about this. Ki levodopa is a molecule that can pass through the blood-brain barrier. Here you can see in this line you can see the levodopa cross the blood-brain barrier, but dopamine can't due to its selective permeability by astrocyte cells that present in blood-brain barrier. Okay, so levodopa is converted into dopamine by DDC enzymes in the neuron cells. Okay, but when the dopamine can't cross through the blood brain barrier, then it is present in the peripheral environment. So here you can see. Okay, so the peripheral have an enzyme like dopa decarboxylase that convert the dopamine into epinephrine, or that is a multi-step process converter by many enzyme. And when the epinephrine is present in peripheral environment, that cause a side effect that here you can see erythemas. Okay, this is erythemas and this is a side effect. Okay, so what is erythemas? It is a improper beating of the heart. Okay, improper beating of the heart. Here whether irregular, it's too fast or too slow take place, so it's caused high chest pain. Okay, so but when we talk about peripheral environment, that is outside the blood brain barrier, so here is first enzyme with dopa decarboxylase, and the another enzyme just like similar, that is comet. Comet is a enzyme that convert levodopa molecule. So here dopa decarboxylase convert dopamine molecule into epinephrine, but the comet is full form is carboxymethyl transferase that convert levodopa into 3-OMD. 3-OMD molecule is a 3-O-methyl dopa. That is the inhibitor of the dopamine molecule. Its means is that the 3-O-methyl dopa degrade the dopamine molecule that present in the peripheral environment uh, before the blood-brain barrier. Okay, its means is that the large amount of dopamine and also levodopa is degraded by these enzymes. Hmm. So, so what is the main strategy to control the the this mechanism to prevent Parkinson disease? So here in this you can see that I talked you. This is comet enzyme, a catecholamine O methyl transferase enzyme. So this convert a levodopa molecule into MOAB. Here you can see MOAB, mean mono. Oh, sorry, this is wrong. So here in this figure you can see, I again talk about this. So here you can see this is the comet molecule, that is catecholamine O methyl transferase, that क्या है degrade the dopamine and levodopa molecule. So this is a dangerous molecule. Okay, that inhibit the signaling pathway. And the monoamine oxidative B, this enzyme degrade the dopamine. And the third enzyme is dopa decarboxylase. Okay, so here you can see dopa decarboxylase. These all three enzymes that degrade dopamine and levodopa. So first we have main strategy is this to inhibit these enzymes, then the degradation of the neurotransmitter molecule will be stopped. So how we stop? By using this drug to inhibit that molecule, like first is entacapone, uh, talcophone and selagelin. Entacapone and tolcafone that inhibit the comet enzymes, okay, that inhibit the comet enzyme, okay, and the selagelin inhibit the MOAB enzymes, okay. Then the dopamine and levodopa molecules are not degraded by this enzyme, okay. So we move on next slide. So here you can see the normal uh, neuron structure that show the signaling uh, pathway of dopamine. Like first of all, we have to know levodopa cross the blood-brain barrier, but dopamine not. But levodopa is converted into dopamine by an enzyme that I already talked to you. Is DDC enzyme that convert levodopa into enzymes inside the nerve cells. Okay, but sometime uh, we the tyrosine will come. Okay, the tyrosine will converted into dopamine. Okay, tyrosine converted into dopamine by TH thyroxine hydrolase enzymes. Okay, so converted into dopamine. Dopamine is stored inside a vesicle. So here you can see the vesicle is a synaptic vesicle that can be transferred by a presynaptic receptor due to change in the different ion channel, calcium intake and release of potassium ions, and uptake and intake of calcium and potassium ion in this. So the synaptal vesicle is fused to the presynaptic membrane. So here you can see the fuse, then the release of this dopamine molecule. So we have an postsynaptic receptor is this that bind to the it and open the channel and release inside the another opening of dendritic neuron cells. Okay, see the all the dopamine can be transferred into one neuron to another neuron during a signaling pathway. When the excess dopamine is released in the synaptic left, so this is the synaptic left gap, okay, between the two membrane, pre and post synaptic of the neuron, okay. So when the axis neuron is released from the presynaptic, then it can again transfer inside the uh, presynaptic membrane, fused it, and then it again formed a vesicle, and then again this cycle is continuously working. New dopamine is formed and then fused vesicle and transferred to another neuron cells, okay. Okay, so we move on next slide. So here you can see the all whole summary that I already told you. Okay, so in this we see one by one. Firstly, you can see the low levodopa molecule. It can pass through the blood brain barrier, and then or a tyrosine, if tyrosine is come, then it converted into T L-dopa by TH enzyme. Levodopa is converted into dopamine by ADC enzyme or DDC enzyme. These are two enzymes that convert levodopa into dopamine inside the neuron ending. Okay, but dopamine can't cross through the blood-brain barrier. So levodopa is also degraded by DDC enzyme. So it when the enzyme is present in the peripheral environment, then it converted a levodopa into dopamine, and this dopamine can't cross the blood brain barrier. Okay, and the levodopa is also converted by 3-OMD by COMT enzymes. This COMD is a carboxyl methyl transferase. So here 3-OMD is a 3-O-methyl dopamine. So 3-OMD is also an auto catalyst. Why it is kind as auto catalyst? Because it not degrade its own, but it degrade dopamine. This is an analog of dopamine. So okay, so 3-OMD enzyme degrade the dopamine that is present in peripheral environment. This is a continuous cycle that degrade the dopamine and levodopa. Okay, so DDC enzyme is inhibited by a drug that is called carbidopa. Okay, and the comet enzyme is inhibited by entacapol and tolcapone. So here these drugs that inhibit comet enzyme and the carbidopa, you can see this DDC enzyme. Okay, so when after this you can see the dopamine is inside the synaptic vesicle, so it fuse it and release due to the change in the ion channel calcium, potassium and sodium ions. So okay, when the axis dopamine molecule, you can see these dot 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 molecules. Okay, so small molecules. Okay, this is a dopamine molecule. So when it produces in an excess amount, sometime it get back into the pre membrane of neuron, but sometime it is produced in huge amount. Then our blood brain barrier have an glial cells, matlab in our brain have an glial cells that have two different types of enzymes. This is an glial cells, you can see it have two enzyme MAOB and MCOMT. MOA is already that I a few times later I talk about that. MOA degrade the dopamine molecule and comet enzyme degrade the dopamine and levodopa molecule that converted into 3-MT. So we if you want to stop Parkinson disease, you have to make this type of drug, this type of drug, and when you control at their glial cell level, you have to make or take to give talcopone drug. Talcopone drug is the inhibitor molecule of comet, and MOAB is the inhibitor by selagelin and rasalagine drug. Okay, so that inhibit the glial cell enzymes to degrade the dopamine molecules and the levodopa molecules. Okay, so after this you can see uh, huh. So after this you can see we have an if the patient if you these are the drugs that inhibit the enzyme activity. Okay, but if the condition is that the neuron deficiency, if like the this is like a genetical defect or due to some injuries or any like autoimmune disorder that affect the neuron, it means is that decrease the level or stop the production of dopamine. So how this condition should be cured? So this condition can be cured by these drug bromocriptine and ropinidol, and these are the list of that drug that is used as an analog of levodopa and dopamine that bind to the postsynaptic membrane receptor and just use as a neurotransmitter molecule to transfer the signal from one neuron to another neuron. Huh? Okay, so this is the like another condition. So after this uh, if like the patient have not take these drug, then the the patient the patient have like a decrease in the dopamine level, the the person having goes to sleep, then their dopamine level is decreases. The main condition is this: the patient have a low dopamine level at any situation, like at their sleeping level or due to any defect, anything. Okay, so at the sleeping level of a person, the acetylcholine is increased due to the deficiency of the dopamine level at the sleeping time. Okay, so acetylcholine is also a neurotransmitter that help in the coordination of movement of muscles. Due to this deficiency of that muscles cause a myasthenia gravis and muscles weakness. Okay, so when the deficiency of the dopamine is take place between the neuron pre and post synaptic neuron. Okay, so acetylcholine vesicle is formed and it can be replaced, dopamine is replaced by acetylcholine. Okay, so when the dopamine level decreases, then the acetylcholine level increases due to its replacement, because any other molecule take their position to do work. Okay, then anticholinergics is an enzymes maintain the level of acetylcholine by decrease acetylcholine. Okay, so it regulation should be maintained, so no disbalance take place in the body. Okay, so when at longer term acetylcholine is used in the neuron cells as a neurotransmitter, then it produce a large amount by presynaptic neuron ending that increase amount its work on muscarinic receptor of postsynaptic. This is present on the membrane of postsynaptic membrane muscarinic receptor that cause a tremor and rigidity. Why this is? Because when acetylcholine is large amount of use in a brain, then cause a deficiency in the muscle that cause a tremor or rigidity. So how this is cured? This is cured by like many drug, like benzotripin. Here you can see these drug can be used, and here is acetylcholine is replaced by muscarinic receptors. Okay, so benzotropen and benepterin, prosylidine and trihexyphenidyl drug are used to control the level. These drugs maintain the level of dopamine and acetylcholine and also block the muscarinic receptor uh, that is opened by acetylcholine. Okay, so these type of drugs or inhibitory molecule that is used to inhibit enzyme that help in increase the signaling pathway between the neurons and increase the signaling pathway. Okay, to cure it. So here I erase all the thing to clear. Okay, okay. So dopamine replacement therapy. So here the next slide you can see L-dopa replacement. So L-dopa is a combination with decarboxylase inhibitor by carbidopa and benisertib. We already talked about this. Is a inhibitory of inhibit the L decarboxylase enzyme that is present in peripheral environment. Okay, so we also use dopamine agonist that are got alkaloids like dopamine agonist. Example bromocriptine, cabergoline, dihydrogocriptine. These are the enzymes that can be used as agonist. And the selective D2 receptor agonist is non-aeroglyne dopamine agonist like apomorphine, pyrimidine, pramipexole, ropinirole, rotigotin. Okay, so we move on next slide. So neuroanatomy gross function. Neuroanatomy is like a study of neurons uh, anatomy. Okay, so our brain is divided into different region like frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital and cerebellum. Frontal is the frontal part of the brain that control like movement, attention. So here in this figure you can see, so this is the frontal part. This is you can see, this is you can see this is frontal or parietal. Temporal is like just inside the ear. This is this portion is temporal is beside the ears, and the occipital is behind the, this is occipital portion, and cerebellum is like just at lower portion. Midbrain is just inside the temporal two position beside inside that. Okay, so every portion of a brain that control different functions like movements. Here yellow portion you can, frontal lobe control thinking, behavior and movements, and temporal lobe control hearing and learning, memory. and parietal lobe control language and touch. Occipital lobe is a site for vision, and cerebellum is for balancing movements and coordination, and brainstem control breathing, heart rate and temperatures. All these things are controlled by this. Okay, so again in this figure is a different figure. In you can see our right hand is our right hand is controlled by left cerebellum. Okay, left cerebellum. So this part of brain is controlled by this, and this part is controlled by this. Okay, our left eye or left hand and left leg hand uh, both are controlled by our right cerebellum, a part of the brain. Okay, so these are the all different sites where you can see visual cortex, spiritual visualization analysis, auditory left analysis of touch, speech center writing, auditory cortex general, interpretive center language, and mm, mathematical calculation can all can be done here, and visual cortex night visual field. Okay, these all process and their center located here. Okay, this is a transversal section of the brain. Here you can see the thalamus portion. Here this is the level darker. Here this is the darker region, thalamus indicated, and in the upper white region is the corpus callosum, and here is the ventricle is like the hollow portion inside the brain that is filled by a cerebrospinal fluid. Okay, this is the empty space. This is like a horn when you see in a 3D image. Okay, and this is a Poutman, and this is the globally in externa global pedi, and this is interna glompodi glomus pallidus. Okay, and this is substantia nigra, and the this portion is the subthalamic nuclei. Okay, and chordata nuclei and putamen and globus pallidi, or can be called as a basal ganglia. Okay, this all thing. So this is the anatomy of the brain. Can you can see in a transversal section. Okay, so this is the center of the neural controlling. So here the different center that regulate different activity, like a ventral intermediate nuclei that control essential tremor. Okay, so here is a light green color, red color indicate that here. Okay, so you can see that control essential tremor or Parkinson disease tremor. Okay, and their blue color is here, that in which you can see subthalamic nucleus that control the Parkinson disease. Here the coordination and different movements will take place, and this is the orange portion where you can see the glomerulus pallidus entericus, GPI, that control dystonia and Parkinson disease. Okay, like here is the inhibitory molecule that inhibit the dopamine molecule that alter the signaling pathway between the neuron. Okay, so again this is a beautiful diagram. Here you can see the, so this is a part of brain. Here is all things are labeled here, like substantia nigra in a colored way, subthalamic nuclei and thalamic portion, and caudate, and putamen, lateral globus pallidi, and medial. Okay, so here this have a transversal section of the brain of some portion of the cortex. So here in this you can see grain or the limbic system. Okay, that have two like associated area or that and cortex area, prefrontal. Okay, So here is a pink color have a center of PGI motor and PGE that release the inhibitory molecule to transfer the signaling pathway. And here we also have primary cortex that receives signal from the stratum. Okay, so here is the oculomotor conjunctiva that is present in the associative area of the limbic system. These are the whole limbic system. First is associated area and the other prefrontal cortex area. Okay, so in the associated area have a oculomotor conjunctiva, and the pink area have a different center like PGI motor. Okay, all these are here are labeled in a beautiful diagram. So then we talk about the neuromodulations. So what is neuromodulation? The International Neuromodulation Society defined the therapeutic neuromodulation as it is the alteration of nerve activity through targeted delivery of a stimulus such as electrical stimulation or a chemical agent to a specific neurological site in the body. It is carried out to normalize or modulate nerve tissue functions. Okay, so you have to 10 thing need to know about neuromodulations. This is most important about neuromodulation. First thing, neuromodulation improve the quality of a life for patient in pain. Okay, neuromodulation can be applied through different techniques. Neuromodulation is a FDA approved that has been used in practice for more than a quarter century. Potential neuromodulation patient can test drive the modality. Neuromodulation can also be implant, be removed, or can be apt. Neuromodulation alleviates or lesser pain without putting patient into a drug fog, or a drug tablet or injection should be not required to take the patient. Okay, so there are neuromodulation specialists in your area. So neuromodulation products are covered by a most medical insurance and Medicare program. Patients care is of the all up to most important to the neuromodulation specialist. Neuromodulation is not a science fiction. Okay, so there is a device you can see that transfer a signal, that receives signal from the brain and then transfer signal to the chest. Okay, so this is the neuromodulation technique that relieve pain or many things that is used to prevent many problems. Okay, so here is the surgical way, the diagram that you can see the surgically implant that device inside the uh, brain. Here have a two electrode or that inserted inside the brain that receive signal and directly transfer to the devices. Okay, so this is the Versailles Gavia. So here this is the device you can see. This is the device Vice Versailles Gravia. Here is put on the chest and their electrode is put inside the brain that uh, decrease the level of pain inside the brain without using any drug. So these are the electrode. Here you can see this is the electrode that receive signal like two level, like first is low pitch like this, that is low pitch, and one is a high pitch amplitude signal. Okay, so this is like a binary number like low pitch high pitch low pitch high pitch, that frequency decode and code by Versailles Gravia device. So it is a deep brain system, is indicated for use in bilateral stimulation of the subthalamic nuclei. It is an adjunctive therapy in reducing some of the like moderate to adverse levodopa that is responsible for Parkinson disease, that are the most adequate with medications. These are the all different SIPS devices that is used, and this is discovered by Bartson Scientific Portfolios. Uh, Bartson is a scientist who made this device. Okay, so here you can see DBS is a deep brain system standard LAD. So here is the 1.3 millimeter electrode and its length is 15.5 millimeter. Okay, so here is a manual all reports electrode decode and code signals DBS cortisol LAD. Okay, so we have a different numbers, have many numbers that code and decode the uh, signal by Versailles Caviar device. Okay, so it's easy to handle and easy to control by a remote. Okay, so this is very useful and easy to handle for the patients. So here is a, you can see this software use electrode and functioning you can see by your computer screen or any other mobile screen. So how this mechanism its work, I am not going to more detail about this. Okay, so okay, so this is a lead electrode, so it can't infect our brain cells because it is not reactive and not harmful our uh, brain to that affected. Okay, so here in this figure you can see the Versailles graveyard device and it a pulse generator that is a lead wire connected by a electrode. This how much deep an electrode should be placed inside the deep inside the brain. So here you can see it is inside the globus pallidus near the subthalamic nuclei. Okay, here you can see that substantia nigra that transmit a signal to the uh, which part of the brain is stratum. Yes, so pulse generator generate a pulse that transfer a pulse to the subthalamic nuclei. That subthalamic nuclei transfer a signal to stratum and stratum transfer to the external globus pallidus, and then external globus pallidus transfer to internal globus pallidus, then it transfer signal to thalamus transfer signal to cortex, and then whole the signaling machinery will be recovered by this by a single electrode. So without using any drug or any other thing, so just by neuromodulation technique. Okay, so this is very useful and very intelligence technique. So when this is an other drug, when you take drugs to cure that disease, this is Parkinson. So when you take levodopa and carbidopa drug, so if you know the function of levodopa, that is good. If you don't know, you have to go to rewind the video and just know the function of levodopa and carbidopa. I explain all the function of drug and their mechanism, so you have to need to know about this slide. Okay, so why the levodopa and carbidopa uh, in a mixture form? Levodopa is like the analog of the dopamine. So okay, or that is transfer the blood brain barrier and go to the one nerve to another nerve by converting into dopamine, and dopamine dispatches by your vesicles and released into the post synaptic membrane, and then it's continuously traveling from one neuron to another neuron. Carbidopa is the inhibitor of the DDC enzyme that in the peripheral environment. Levodopa is converted into dopamine, and dopamine can't cross the blood brain barrier. Okay, so this is a drug that inhibit the DDC enzyme for the movement of prevent the degradation of levodopa. Okay, so this is the reason that these drug should be given in a pair form. Okay, but not all. because some have multi-functions and some not need this type of requirement. Okay, so according to their need and function, we use tablet in a pair. So the mixture of levodopa and carbidopa, when you take, so every drug have some side effect. Okay, so due to every person have their different reactivity and different drug kinetics and different pharmacodynamics and pharmacokinetics. So every have different morphology feature by taking drug. So it have a side effect like nausea, loss of appetite, hypertension, mental disturbance, urine discoloration due to saliva color change. When you take a Salicyl rose, rosagiline drug. Okay, so its side effect is nausea, insomnia, and hallucination, dyschizophrenia. And when you take entacapone and tolipone, it causes diarrhea. Here, sorry, is a spelling mistake. So here is a diarrhea and discoloration of urea due to saliva, and it is also cause liver toxicity when you take this drug. Okay, so every drug have some different side effects. Like in this, you can see liver toxicity is hallucination, dyskinesia. Okay, fourth one is bromocriptine or ropinirole and paramixol with rotigotine or amoporin drug when take in a mixture that cause nausea, hypertension, mental disturbance, sleepiness, and pulmonary and cardiac fluorosis. When you take anticholinergic drug, then it cause constipation, urinary bladder retentions, and dry mouth and lower vision should be treated. These are the all side effect of using drug in Parkinson's disease for the cure. Okay, it doesn't mean is this uh, you don't go to a doctor for you can't go for take any tablets because you see this type of side effect. So doctor also give a tablet to uh, minimize these side effect or decrease in firstly it give a tablet in a lower concentration of drug, than it increase the treatment according to their need of dose. Okay, so it's a rare chances to have side effect, but sometimes have side effect. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.